Okay guys, so first let me say that this video might include a little bit of bad language, depends on how heated I get regarding the subject of Spider-Man. Now many of you know, as I've talked previously tons of times, how much Spider-Man means to me, and you know, how much I love the character, and how I found a certain aspect of life that Spider-Man kind of helped me get through high school and all these hard times, right? So it was during that time where The Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, where I made a series of videos about Abbey Arad and stuff, and I really stressed out the importance of getting Spider-Man right. And then all of you guys saw, my video regarding the reaction when Spider-Man was announced for the MCU. And I think everybody remembers the reaction I had to the trailer where he shows up, where I literally just cried. It was like, holy shit, that's Spider-Man. And Spider-Man, to this day, will forever hold a place in my heart, regardless of what happens to him. I will see every single thing that's Spider-Man because I feel obligated, because that's such a, character that's close to my heart. And there came that day where the, Marvel deal was announced, and then we get the trailers, and we see Spider-Man, and we're all so happy. It's insane. And we know how Hollywood works. It's all business, and we know that Sony is one of the worst studios when it comes to anything. I'm sorry if you love Sony, okay? It's cool, but they don't treat their properties right. And a fine example of this bullshit that they're doing is Venom and Black Cat. The fact that they're just going to go back to doing exactly what they did with The Amazing Spider-Man, but they think that the goodwill to share Spider-Man for 2 movies with Marvel is good enough to get fans on their back is completely fucking wrong. You're not gonna win us back just by doing this. Sure, okay, maybe Homecoming is the best Spider-Man movie. I have my doubts, but maybe it is. Maybe it's gonna be better than Spider-Man 2. And we're gonna love you guys, but here's the thing. They think that just because they're gonna do that, and because Spidey's allowed to appear in Infinity War, that suddenly we're all just going to drop on our knees and blow Sony. That's what they think. That's what they think. They don't understand that if we don't want a fucking Venom movie that doesn't take place with the fucking Spider-Man we have on the screen right now. That's the problem with the last series you did. That's why we didn't want stupid spin-offs, because we didn't even like that series. Everything was crammed into one fucking movie. So now we get to the actual topic at hand. Now we get to Amy Pascal, the woman in charge of everything, talking more about Spider-Man and his future. So Amy Pascal at CinemaCon said this: "One of the things that I think is so amazing about this experience is that you don't have studios deciding to work together to make a film very often. In fact, it may never happen again after we do the sequel," referencing Spider-Man Homecoming sequel. Now, why this is important is the fact that Tom Holland probably has 3 movies with this whole shared contract. So he has Civil War, Homecoming, and probably, the Sony thing, because I'm going to assume the cameo is what Civil War is. So he has the 2 Infinity Wars. So he probably has a 3 or 4 movie contract that's on there. But then here's what she says next. "Because Sony and Disney and Marvel all decided that the right thing to do was to allow Peter Parker and Spider-Man to be in the MCU, and to work with the Marvel guys and have them produce the film." Now, there's another rest of the quote that's not really important, but the thing is what she said there. "In fact, it may never happen again after we do the sequel." Now, here's what Sony's thinking, and I can guarantee you this is what those bastards are thinking, okay? This is what they're thinking. Spider-Man is going to be big. He's going to be huge in the MCU. They know this. They know that this movie is going to make more money than all the other Spider-Man movies. They know this for a fact. They know that after Infinity War goes out there and makes $2 billion, and they know for a fact Spider-Man sequel is going to make even more than the first Homecoming. So what they're doing right now is essentially tossing their dick around, trying to tell Marvel, and do the little slap in the face, being like, look, we have Spidey. Guess what? By the time Holland is done this contract, we're gonna have Venom and Black Cat. We might even have a Sinister Six movie out there, because remember, they're still developing that outside of the MCU. So essentially what they're saying is, we're gonna build up our universe as a side project, And if we don't want a new deal, we're just going to shove a new Spider-Man in there, or maybe even shove Tom Holland in there. And I guarantee you what they're thinking is, after this contract is up following the Homecoming sequel, they're going to go back to Marvel and go, oh yeah, you want Spider-Man for more Avengers? We now take a share of the cut of that money. And this is fucking Sony. And guess what? The share is going to be way more than they're fucking worth. But this is the suits running the shit. So they're going to want to take this one specific way. And that specific way is, fuck everybody, we're Sony, we're hemorrhaging money, hand over fist every single year. I'm not even making this up. Look at their profits. First, go up and look at Sony in 2000, then look it up in 2005, then 10, then 15, then today. It is a company in a trajectory so fucking low, James Cameron is going to be shooting them as part of Avatar 2. They're so low underwater, okay? They're literally drowning. So this is them just fucking trying to be greedy. And that's the worst. That's the fucking worst. And here's the other thing I really want to stress, that I really want to talk about. Spider-Man is, remember, without a doubt, the most popular superhero in the world. He is. There's no disputing this. He outsells all the other heroes combined. Now he's getting a huge video game made by a AAA developer for Sony exclusive. Take a note of this. Sony exclusive. Do you see what Sony is doing? They're already positioning themselves in this marketing scheme so so you know that Spider-Man is theirs. It doesn't matter he was in Civil War. It doesn't matter Robert Downey is in Homecoming. The little lingering thing there is, there's a deal, and Spidey is with Sony. And as she says, it may never happen again after we do the sequel. Because it's probably not going to happen again. Tom Holland is going to be worth way more. So both studios will have to pay him. Sony, guaranteed they're gonna want to share the cut. But then Marvel is going to have to come in there being like, well, guess what? We made your character popular. That's why Homecoming is the first Spider-Man movie to pass $1 billion. So we want to share that cut too. And when you get in there, and there's these greedy, beady little fucking eyes, like Avi Arads of the world, that just have to get their fucking slimy little fingers on everything. They're reminding me of fucking Shadow King from Legion. Like, that's what he is. He just fucking needs to do your fucking money, let me get my fingers in, let me put more fucking Venom in there. Like, that's what he's doing, right? So you just got to think of this logically. Sony is not afraid to scrap everything and restart. They did it with Tobey Maguire. That movie series fucking made hand over fist. It made so much money. The fact that the first movie made how much it did the year it came out, where today Batman v Superman can't even match that with 3D and 3D IMAX, is ridiculous. This is Spider-Man you're talking about, and they know what they have. They have a giant pot of fucking gold, and they're like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. We're just gonna take this gold. We're gonna put a little Venom shit on the side of this gold. We're gonna put a little Black Cat diarrhea on the side of this, But the gold. Let's see this Marvel chunk. That's the gold. That's the shit people want. But don't you worry, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a big old fucking spoon. I'm gonna fucking turn that shit in there, and then once you sprinkle some of that shit and diarrhea in there, together into the golden pot, it's gonna make gold, right? Because that's what they're thinking. Because that worked out previously, right? Right? No, it didn't. It didn't fucking work. So we're at the risk again, possibly by 2021. We're probably going to have a giant dispute that happens between... Shut up, fucking computer. Shut up. Don't roll the credits yet. Shut the hell up. Anyway, even you guys might have heard the music come up. You're probably going to have some contractual disputes. And I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man is just not in the MCU anymore. But Sony is just going to take Tom Holland and shove him casually into their new franchise. Because fuck the fans. They know what's best. They know what's best. Because they're Sony. They're Sony. Just hemorrhaging fucking money.